Here's why no tax on tips, though possibly well-intentioned, is bad policy. If we are going to have an income tax, then it should tax all income in the same manner. Exempting tips from taxation while taxing wages, bonuses, and commissions violates basic fairness and creates arbitrary distinctions between workers. Consider two people earning identical incomes, a waiter receiving $20,000 in tips in addition to $20,000 in wages, and a construction worker earning only $40,000 in wages. Under a no tax on tips policy, the waiter pays income tax only on the $20,000 in wages, while the construction worker pays taxes on his $40,000 in wages. Both performed labor and received compensation, yet one is taxed on only half his total income simply because customers paid him directly rather than through an employer. That is obviously unfair. If tips deserve exemption because they represent variable income, then so do sales commissions and year-end bonuses for investment bankers. A car salesperson earning $50,000 in commissions faces similar economic uncertainty as a server earning $50,000 in tips, yet only the server would benefit from no tax on tips. Moreover, if Congress exempted bonuses from taxation, most Americans would lose their mind over investment bankers not having to pay tax on their year-end bonuses. Bear in mind that many people who support eliminating taxes on tips simultaneously demand that carried interest be taxed as ordinary income rather than capital gains. This reveals a fundamental contradiction. If a variable performance-based compensation deserves tax exemption for servers, why should investment managers have to pay taxes on their variable performance-based compensation? Consistency would actually say there should be the same taxes on tips as taxes on the carry of private equity and venture capital firms. At the end of the day, money received for labor is income, whether it arrives as wages, tips, bonuses, or commissions, and the no tax on tips policy is unfair. These exemptions also force workers in non-tipped industries to subsidize the tax break tipped workers receive. Politicians proposing these exemptions are not crafting fair tax policy, but rather are pretty obviously trying to win votes from specific constituencies. And to be clear, both Trump and Harris supported no tax on tips, so this isn't an attack on only one political party, nor does bipartisan support transform unfair tax policy into fair tax policy. And while we can and should aim to create a better economy for all Americans, including those who rely on tips for their compensation, we should absolutely be opposed to what are pretty obviously political handouts that force some Americans to subsidize the tax breaks received by others. If you enjoyed this video, you can check the description for more ways that you can support me and consider subscribing to my channel.